Welcome back to the channel. If you're someone who's been spending money on omega-3 supplements, spending countless hours at the gym, and still not seeing the muscle growth and recovery you're looking for, I have some important information to share with you today. For decades, we've been told that omega-3 supplements are the golden ticket to health, recovery, and muscle building. But what if I told you that there are two specific vitamins that, when taken at night, can actually be more effective for muscle rebuilding and recovery than expensive omega-3 supplements? What if I told you that these vitamins are affordable, accessible, and backed by solid science? Today, I'm going to reveal these two vitamins, explain exactly how they work in your body, share the scientific research supporting their effectiveness, and give you practical guidance on how to use them for maximum results. Before we dive into the specific vitamins, let me explain why nighttime is the critical window for muscle rebuilding. When you exercise, especially when you do resistance training, you create micro tears in your muscle fibers. These tears are intentional and necessary. Your body's repair process is what leads to muscle growth. But here's the thing, this repair process doesn't happen during your workout. It happens during recovery, particularly during sleep. When you sleep, your body enters a state of anabolism, which means it's in a building and repair mode. Your growth hormone levels spike, your protein synthesis increases, and your body dedicates resources to repairing the damage from your workout and building new muscle tissue. This is why sleep is often called the most important factor in muscle building. You can have the perfect workout, the perfect diet, and the perfect supplement stack, but if you're not sleeping well, you won't see results. The problem is that most people don't optimize their nighttime recovery. They take their supplements during the day, eat their meals throughout the day, and then go to bed without giving their body the specific nutrients it needs during the critical nighttime recovery window. This is where these two vitamins come in. When taken at night, they amplify your body's natural recovery processes and provide the raw materials your body needs to rebuild muscle tissue efficiently and effectively. The first vitamin I'm going to talk about is magnesium. Now, magnesium is already a well-known supplement, but most people take it for the wrong reasons or in the wrong way. Many people take magnesium for constipation relief or for general health. But what most people don't realize is that magnesium is absolutely critical for muscle function, protein synthesis, and recovery. In fact, magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, many of which are directly related to muscle building and recovery. Here's why magnesium is so important for muscle rebuilding. First, magnesium is essential for protein synthesis, which is the process by which your body converts the protein you eat into new muscle tissue. Without adequate magnesium, your body cannot efficiently build new muscle, even if you're eating plenty of protein and doing resistance training. Second, magnesium regulates muscle contraction and relaxation. During your workout, your muscles contract repeatedly. After your workout, your muscles need to relax completely to recover properly. If your magnesium levels are low, your muscles remain in a partially contracted state, which increases muscle soreness, delays recovery, and prevents optimal muscle growth. Third, magnesium is crucial for improving sleep quality and depth. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm and promotes the deep sleep stages where most muscle recovery and growth hormone release occurs. If you take magnesium at night, you'll likely sleep more deeply, which means more growth hormone release and more effective muscle recovery. Fourth, magnesium helps regulate cortisol levels, which is your body's primary stress hormone. When cortisol levels are elevated, your body breaks down muscle tissue and enters a catabolic state. Magnesium helps keep cortisol levels in check, particularly at night when cortisol should be naturally decreasing. Fifth, magnesium is essential for energy production at the cellular level. Your body uses ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, as its primary energy currency. Magnesium is required to produce, store, and utilize ATP. Without adequate magnesium, your cells don't have the energy they need to carry out the rebuilding processes that happen during sleep. Now, here's something really important that most people don't understand about magnesium. Most people are deficient in magnesium. Studies show that up to 75% of the American population does not get enough magnesium from their diet. This is because modern agriculture has depleted the soil of minerals, including magnesium. The foods we eat, even seemingly healthy whole foods, often contain less magnesium than they did decades ago. Additionally, we lose magnesium through stress, through exercise, through caffeine consumption, and through many common medications. So even if you're eating a seemingly healthy diet, you might still be magnesium deficient. The type of magnesium you take matters significantly. Not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Some forms of magnesium are poorly absorbed by your body, and some can actually cause digestive issues like loose stools or diarrhea. For taking at night for muscle recovery, I recommend magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. Magnesium glycinate is highly absorbable and doesn't have a laxative effect. It also contains glycine, which is an amino acid that supports sleep quality and muscle recovery. Magnesium threonate is specifically designed to cross the blood-brain barrier, which means it has enhanced cognitive benefits and can improve sleep quality even more effectively than other forms. Both of these forms are excellent choices for nighttime supplementation. The recommended dose of magnesium for muscle recovery is typically between 300 and 400 milligrams per day, taken in the evening about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Some people, particularly those who are larger or who are doing intense training, might benefit from higher doses of 500 to 600 milligrams per day. However, it's best to start with a lower dose and gradually increase it to assess your tolerance. If you experience loose stools, reduce your dose slightly. Your goal is to find the dose that optimizes your recovery without causing digestive issues. The second vitamin I'm going to talk about is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is actually not technically a vitamin. It's a hormone precursor, which means your body produces it, but it's often deficient in people who don't get enough sun exposure. Vitamin D is absolutely critical for muscle function, growth, and recovery, and it's one of the most commonly deficient nutrients in people who aren't getting enough sun exposure or aren't supplementing. Here's why vitamin D is so important for muscle rebuilding. First, vitamin D regulates calcium absorption in your intestines. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction and relaxation. Without adequate vitamin D, you can't absorb and utilize calcium properly, which impairs muscle function and recovery. Second, vitamin D directly impacts muscle protein synthesis. Studies have shown that people with adequate vitamin D levels have significantly better muscle growth in response to resistance training compared to people who are vitamin D deficient. Third, vitamin D regulates your immune system. When you exercise, you create inflammation in your muscles and throughout your body. This inflammation is actually necessary for the adaptive response that leads to muscle growth. However, excessive inflammation can interfere with recovery and lead to overtraining syndrome. Vitamin D helps modulate your immune response so that you have enough inflammation for adaptation, but not so much that it interferes with recovery. Fourth, vitamin D plays a critical role in testosterone production. Testosterone is one of the most important hormones for muscle growth in both men and women. Studies have shown that people with adequate vitamin D levels have higher testosterone levels than people who are deficient. Fifth, vitamin D affects fast-twitch muscle fiber development and strength. Fast-twitch muscle fibers are the type of fibers that are preferentially recruited during resistance training and are responsible for maximum strength and power. Vitamin D helps promote the development and maintenance of these fibers. Sixth, vitamin D regulates the nervous system and helps you feel more motivated and positive. This might seem unrelated to muscle building, but motivation and mood have a huge impact on training intensity and consistency. When your vitamin D levels are low, you're more likely to feel depressed, fatigued, and unmotivated to train hard. When your vitamin D levels are adequate, you're more likely to feel energized, motivated, and ready to push hard in your workouts. Now, similar to magnesium, most people are deficient in vitamin D. This is particularly true if you live in a northern climate, if you spend most of your time indoors, if you have dark skin, or if you regularly wear sunscreen. Your body produces vitamin D when your skin is exposed to sunlight, but many people don't get enough sun exposure to produce adequate amounts. Additionally, there aren't many food sources of vitamin D, and the amounts in food are typically quite small. This makes vitamin D supplementation particularly important for muscle recovery. The most bioavailable form of vitamin D is vitamin D3, also called cholecalciferol. Now, here's something important to understand about these two vitamins and why they work so well together for nighttime muscle recovery. Magnesium and vitamin D have a synergistic relationship. Magnesium helps your body activate and utilize vitamin D. Without adequate magnesium, your body can't properly metabolize vitamin D, even if you're taking plenty of it. So, taking these two vitamins together at night is more effective than taking either one alone. They work together to enhance each other's effects and to optimize your body's nighttime recovery processes. Let me share some of the scientific research supporting the effectiveness of these vitamins for muscle recovery. A study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that athletes taking magnesium supplementation had significantly better muscular performance and faster recovery compared to a control group. Another study published in the same journal found that magnesium supplementation improved the quality of sleep and reduced muscle soreness in athletes. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reviewed multiple studies on vitamin D and found that adequate vitamin D levels were associated with significantly better muscular strength and power output. Another study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that vitamin D deficient athletes had significantly impaired recovery and were at higher risk for injury compared to athletes with adequate vitamin D levels. These studies are just a few examples of the extensive research demonstrating the critical importance of these vitamins for muscle recovery and athletic performance. Now, let me give you practical guidance on how to use these vitamins for maximum muscle recovery. First, take your magnesium and vitamin D together about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Taking them together amplifies their synergistic effects. Second, make sure you're taking the right forms. For magnesium, choose magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. For vitamin D, choose vitamin D3. Third, make sure you're taking adequate doses. Fifth, don't expect overnight miracles. While these vitamins do help your body recover faster and build muscle more effectively, they're not magic. You still need to be doing resistance training. You still need to be eating enough protein and calories. You still need to be sleeping enough hours. These vitamins optimize your recovery, but they don't replace the fundamental factors that drive muscle growth. Sixth, consider getting your vitamin D levels tested to make sure you're taking the right dose for your individual needs. Different people have different requirements based on their genetics, their sun exposure, their skin color, their body composition, and other factors. A simple blood test can tell you your current levels and help you optimize your supplementation. Seventh, be aware that taking magnesium and vitamin D is not a substitute for omega-3 fatty acids, which are still important for overall health, particularly for cardiovascular health and inflammation management. However, if your primary goal is muscle recovery and growth, magnesium and vitamin D are likely more important than omega-3 supplements. You don't need to choose one or the other. Ideally, you should get adequate amounts of both. But if you're on a budget and can only afford one supplement, I would prioritize magnesium and vitamin D over omega-3 supplements specifically for muscle recovery purposes. Eighth, consider the timing of these supplements relative to other supplements you might be taking. Magnesium and vitamin D work well together, but some supplements don't work well if taken together. For example, calcium can interfere with magnesium absorption if taken at the same time. Iron can also interfere with magnesium absorption. So, if you're taking other supplements, do some research or consult with a healthcare provider to make sure you're not taking them in a way that reduces their effectiveness. Ideally, take your magnesium and vitamin D together, but separate them from other minerals and supplements by at least a few hours. Ninth, be patient and consistent. It typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks of consistent supplementation to notice significant improvements in recovery, sleep quality, and muscle growth. After about 8 weeks, the effects become even more pronounced. So commit to taking these vitamins every night for at least 4 weeks before you judge whether they're working for you or not. If you take them sporadically, you won't see the full benefits. 10th, make sure you're optimizing other aspects of recovery as well. Sleep is absolutely critical for muscle recovery. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Exercise itself causes stress on your body, so make sure you're not training too hard too frequently. Recovery days are just as important as training days. Nutrition is also critical. Make sure you're eating enough calories and enough protein. A general guideline is about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day for someone who's doing resistance training. Also, make sure you're managing stress. High stress levels elevate cortisol, which promotes muscle breakdown. Consider incorporating stress management techniques like meditation, deep breathing, yoga, or spending time in nature. Now, let me address some common questions and concerns about these vitamins. First, are there any side effects? Magnesium is generally very safe. The most common side effect is loose stools or diarrhea if you take too much. If this happens, simply reduce your dose. Vitamin D is also very safe at the recommended doses. Vitamin D toxicity is possible, but only at very high doses, typically above 10,000 IU per day taken for extended periods. At the recommended doses of 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day, vitamin D toxicity is not a concern. Second, can I take too much of these vitamins? It's possible to take more than your body needs, but the recommended doses we're discussing are well within the safe range. If you want to take higher doses, it's best to get your vitamin levels tested first to make sure you actually need the higher doses. Third, will these vitamins interfere with my medications? Some medications can interact with magnesium and vitamin D. If you're taking medications, it's a good idea to consult with your doctor or pharmacist to make sure there are no interactions. Fourth, what if I'm vegetarian or vegan? Both magnesium and vitamin D supplements are available in vegetarian and vegan forms. Most supplements are vegan anyway, but if you want to be sure, check the label. Fifth, how long do I need to take these vitamins? These vitamins address fundamental nutritional deficiencies that most people have year-round, so ideally you would take them indefinitely. They're not like medications where you take them for a period of time and then stop. They're like eating nutritious food. You need them continuously to maintain optimal health and recovery. Sixth, can I get these vitamins from food? Magnesium is found in foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Vitamin D is found in foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and mushrooms exposed to sunlight. However, most people don't eat enough of these foods to get adequate amounts of these vitamins. Additionally, modern agriculture has depleted soil of minerals, so foods contain less magnesium than they did decades ago. This is why supplementation is often necessary. Seventh, what's the best time of day to take these vitamins? For muscle recovery purposes, the best time to take them is in the evening, about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This is when your body is preparing to enter the nighttime recovery phase, and when these vitamins can have the most impact on your recovery processes. Eighth, can I take these vitamins if I'm taking other supplements? Yes, these vitamins can be combined with most other supplements. However, as mentioned earlier, they shouldn't be taken at the exact same time as calcium or iron. Space them out by a few hours if possible. Ninth, will these vitamins help with muscle soreness? Yes, both magnesium and vitamin D can help reduce muscle soreness. Magnesium helps your muscles relax fully between contractions, which reduces delayed onset muscle soreness. Vitamin D helps modulate the inflammatory response, which also reduces soreness. 10th, how much will these vitamins cost? Both magnesium and vitamin D are very affordable supplements. A month's supply of either one typically costs between $5 and $15. So for less than $30 per month, you can optimize these two critical aspects of recovery. This is far cheaper than most omega-3 supplements and likely more effective for muscle recovery specifically. Let me give you some additional context about why magnesium and vitamin D are often more important than omega-3 supplements for muscle recovery specifically. Omega-3 fatty acids are important for overall health, particularly for cardiovascular health, brain function, and reducing systemic inflammation. They're good to take, and if your diet is low in omega-3 sources, supplementation can be beneficial. However, they're not as directly involved in the acute muscle recovery process as magnesium and vitamin D are. Magnesium is directly involved in protein synthesis and muscle contraction and relaxation. Vitamin D directly regulates calcium absorption, testosterone production, and immune function, all of which are critical for muscle recovery. Additionally, most people are much more deficient in magnesium and vitamin D than they are in omega-3 fatty acids. If you're going to prioritize one supplement over another, these two vitamins are the best investment for muscle recovery purposes. Now, let me put together a practical action plan for you to start using these vitamins for maximum muscle recovery. Step 1, decide which forms of magnesium and vitamin D you want to use. I recommend magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate and vitamin D3. Step 2, purchase these supplements. Both are widely available at health food stores, pharmacies, and online retailers. They're affordable and accessible. Step 3. Determine your starting doses. In conclusion, magnesium and vitamin D are two of the most important vitamins for muscle recovery and growth. When taken at night, they optimize your body's natural recovery processes and provide the raw materials your body needs to rebuild muscle tissue efficiently. They're affordable, accessible, safe, and backed by solid science. While omega-3 supplements are important for overall health, for the specific purpose of muscle recovery, magnesium and vitamin D are likely more important and more effective. Start taking these vitamins tonight. Commit to a consistent routine. Give them at least 4 weeks to show their effects. And then assess your results. I'm confident that you'll notice improvements in your sleep quality, your recovery speed, your muscle soreness levels, and ultimately your muscle growth and strength gains. Your nighttime recovery is just as important as your training, and these two vitamins are key to optimizing that recovery. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing about your results with these supplements. Stay strong, stay healthy, and commit to optimizing your recovery every single night. Your future self will thank you.